Okay, well, the CALLAN method is primarily a speaking method of learning English, okay? The main skills that are taught are speaking and listening skills. Not just that, we also cover reading and writing skills, of course, but the main focus is on speaking and listening skills. And the idea is that we are building up, increasing the students' ability to speak with some fluency and naturalness. It's very good, very important for students. It's particularly important for students like Japanese students who have perhaps studied for quite a few years before but haven't learned how to speak or haven't had any practice in speaking. So it's very, very good for encouraging and helping and supporting students to speak. If you want to know more specifically, it's a system of questions and answers. And the teacher's asking questions, the students are answering. With every question and with every answer, we are practicing a particular word or piece of grammar, and we use it in our question. They have to use the same structure in their answer, and so that's how we it's not just a conversation, it's definitely not a conversation. With every time they speak, they are practicing as much as they possibly can, structurally, lexically, every time they speak. The CALLAN method caters for all stages, really, for all ages, from around about 7 years old. The original 12 stages of the method were aimed principally at adults, teenagers and adults. We recently have introduced a new product, which is CALLAN for Kids, which teaches 7 to 11-year-olds. So we decided kids needed a little bit more energetic, different activities in their lessons. So but otherwise, any age is good. We say that 7 is a good age to start the CALLAN method. Before that, children often learn by playing and games. We may well develop something along those lines. At the moment, we start from 7. Yes, these are some of the books. These are the teachers' books we have here. This is stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 12 stages in the main method. This is the very famous Brown family, okay, with Mr. and Mrs. Brown and Jack Brown and Anna Brown. These are our teachers' books, and the students have their own books, which are a little bit smaller. They are 1 stage each. They have their own book. The students must have their own book because we do read in the lesson, and the students can practice at home as well. If you want to see it, you see the book is but it is simply a lot of questions and answers. It's quite, at any one time we're practicing many different things, vocabulary or grammar. The method is very fast. It's a fast method, so we are progressing through many different things as we go all the time. Yes, they are. The questions and answers are in the teacher's book and in the student's book. So the students can study on their own if they want to when they go home in the evening or after the lesson. And the grammar explanations are in the book as well, etc. Okay. We also have, if you want to talk about students practicing at home, we do also have, for accredited schools, we have something called the CALLAN Student Practice Area, the CALLAN Spa. And this is where students can actually practice other things at home as well. They can listen to the MP3s, they can listen to native speakers reading out the same questions, giving the answers. The students can practice recording their own voice. There are many kinds of exercises on the CALLAN Spa for students to do. It's like to give a full experience of the CALLAN method. They have the lesson at school, and they can also study a little bit at home as well. For CALLAN accredited schools. We're very, very concerned that schools who are using the CALLAN method become accredited, because then we can prove that the method is being taught in the right way, which is very, very important to us. That depends entirely on how often the student is studying. It also depends on other things like the level of the student, the age of the student, but mostly it depends on how often they come to class. So a student who is coming every day, like I think they do at NILS, You can get through a stage in a few weeks, let's say, maybe certainly less, about two months kind of thing. We don't give a guarantee of how many stages. If a school wants to give a guarantee of how long it takes, that's up to them. We don't do that. We just say you'll learn very quickly. But each stage would take anything from 4 weeks to 10 weeks to complete.
Okay.
In many schools, students only come once a week. In some schools, they come every single day, so it depends. It is. The CALLAN method was very much devised for a class situation. It's okay to teach one-to-one, but because it's quite intense, it's very, very focused. The lesson is very focused. The teacher is asking questions and the students are answering all the time. So in a classroom situation, it's rather nice because the student is not having to speak all the time, just quite a lot. But the students are listening to the teacher all the time. So even if the students are not answering a question, they are hearing the teacher model the answer themselves, so they're always learning all the time. I would say between 6 and 8 is a really good number.
6 to 8.
Something like that, yes. It depends very much on the school, on the situation, on the classroom size you have. Anything from 3 or 4 to 6 to 8. You don't want really too many more than 10, because the students don't get quite enough time to practice. Oh, that's fine. Of course, they will learn a lot. They will learn very, very quickly in a one-to-one class. Can I just say, however, the CALLAN method in a class situation, in a group situation, is perfect for people like Japanese people who are a little bit shy, because the focus is not on one student for very long. The student answers a question with the teacher's help and support. The teacher will correct that student, but they don't make a big thing of it. The student is corrected and not made to feel bad about being corrected. And because the teacher is supporting the student and helping them to speak all the time, there is never a moment where a student who is very shy and often would hide at the back of the classroom. This just doesn't happen in the CALLAN lesson. So students actually feel very, very confident. They're given a lot of confidence. So a lesson can last anything from half an hour to 2 hours. Okay? Many schools around the world have chosen to have 50-minute lessons. That's an optimum length of lesson. But quite a lot of people have 2 50-minute lessons. We have CALLAN Online, an online facility where they have half-hour lessons. It depends on the student, how often they can come, what their situation is. But the CALLAN method works as long as you don't ask the student to do too many lessons at once, because it is quite tiring, quite intense. But 2 hours a day is absolutely fine. As I said, most of the lesson is practicing comprehension, listening skills and speaking skills. In the middle of every lesson, there is a reading and a dictation. So it's a smaller part of the lesson, time-wise, but it's equally important. And the students they read from their books, which is a kind of a deeper revision. It's reading practice, but also a deeper revision of what they have previously learned. And then there is a dictation. In every lesson. In the higher levels, in stages 11 and 12, they have been written to help to prepare students who perhaps want to do exam classes. So as well as the ordinary CALLAN question and answer, there are sessions and exercises on how to write essays and different kinds of things like that, and gap-filling exercises and things that students will need if they're going to take one of these higher exams. That would just be in a 50-minute lesson, that would take approximately 15 minutes. So you can see the ratio. It's not the most, it's important, it's not the most important part of the lesson. It is important, but it takes up a little bit less time. The main focus of the lesson is the speaking, questions and answers. The only words I have is please come and do it. Okay? The CALLAN method is not the only method in the world, it's not the only thing that's going to work for you, but if you want to be able to speak English fluently and have confidence in speaking, as well, and not in a conversation situation, a very guided situation where you're learning all the grammar, grammatical structures, etc. in a very systematic way, and revising everything in a very systematic way. This is then the method for you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It's lovely to be here.